Adam Schefter has provided a major update of what he thinks is going to happen in the top 3 of the NFL draft, and we got to talk about it. First, make sure you are subscribed, and shout out to the 3.1 thousand people that have subscribed over the last 28 days. It was an awesome month, and we want to keep the ball rolling. So turn on your notifications because only 13% of our subscribers have those turned on, and only 8% also have their phone notifications turned on so they can get push noties. So change that. Hit that bell icon and go into your settings app on your phone and enable YouTube push notifications. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I hope everybody is having a good one as we got to talk about what Adam Schefter had to say about the NFL draft and a major shakeup of what he's had to say really throughout the draft process. This is a new report, and it's a little upsetting if you want Travis Hunter as a New York Giant. Adam Schefter saying this via the Pat McAfee show. That's the thing with the draft. It's a moving target, and it constantly evolves. And teams' needs and desires change along the way as they go through the evaluation process. The latest intel now is that I believe Travis Hunter is the more likely pick at number 2 to the Cleveland Browns today, a couple weeks out of the NFL draft, for a couple of different reasons. I think that the Cleveland Browns watched Travis Hunter on Friday at the Colorado Pro Day, and they saw somebody that could move like nobody else. And look, I always thought it was a little bit too quiet around Travis Hunter and the Cleveland Browns, but now it seems like, and we're going to get to the betting odds, that all signs point to Travis Hunter being the number 2 overall selection. I will say this, Adam Schefter, I believe him. I think he's the most tapped-in person that covers the NFL draft. But he has been all over the map of what he thinks the Cleveland Browns are going to do with the number 2 overall pick. First, a direct statement. The most confident thing I am in the NFL draft is that the Cleveland Browns will pick a quarterback with the number 2 overall selection. That's what he first said, and that's what he rode throughout February and January. But then into March, he said Carter is shaking up to be a Cleveland Brown. So he went from a QB being a Brown at 2 to Abdul Carter being a Brown at 2. That was over the last couple of weeks. And then today he says Travis Hunter is the more likely pick at number 2 for Cleveland. And it's not just Schefter. The betting odds set by the odds makers out west, they also believe that Abdul Carter is no longer the favorite to be the number 2 overall pick. Go back to April 4th. Abdul Carter was the odds-on favorite to be a Cleveland Brown at number 2, minus 270. With Travis Hunter at plus 240. But now, as of April 8th, just 4 days later, FanDuel has updated their odds, and there is a major shift. Travis Hunter, now the odds-on favorite at minus 250. The runaway favorite at this point. Abdul Carter now plus 105, and Shedeur Sanders plus 1,000. Does not seem like he is going to be the pick at this moment. That is as of April 8th. Today. And this all goes back to the Colorado Pro Day that went down last week where the Cleveland Browns were there in a large fashion. Not quite as large as the 14-plus people the Giants sent, but maybe the most important man was there, and that is Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Cleveland Browns. Albert Breer saying this, the Browns have owner Jimmy Haslam, head coach Kevin Stefanski, their GM Andrew Berry, assistant GM Glenn Cook, and Cat Hickman. And J.W. Johnson and Tommy Reese and Bill Musgrave at the Colorado Pro Day. They also took Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter to dinner last night. That was back on April 4th. And that is kind of where we started to see this snowball effect of Travis Hunter emerging as the favorite. I do want to take a look at the pick odds for number 2 at this point. At this point, Travis Hunter, minus 250. Abdul Carter, plus 170, and plus 1,500 for Shedeur Sanders. And then if you look at the pick odds for the number 3 pick, which is the New York Football Giants, they have a new odds-on favorite, as it was Travis Hunter last week, but now Travis Hunter the favorite to go to the Browns, and now Abdul Carter is the favorite to be a New York Football Giant at number 3. Shedeur Sanders still in play at plus 400. Get some good value on that if you think he's going to be the selection. But the odds in Adam Schefter are saying that Abdul Carter is going to be the pick at number 3. I want you to make the selection, though. If you could have any one of these 3 gentlemen as the number 3 overall pick for our New York Football Giants, who would it be? You be the GM. Is it Travis? Is it Abdul? Is it Shedeur? Let me know in the comments section. Coming up next, we got to talk about Abdul Carter. Haven't spent a lot of time about him on the channel. Good amount of time, especially over the last week with the odds and the noise and the smoke leading this way. But we got to talk about it because I can already hear it in the comment section. But Marshall, we do not need Abdul Carter. We have Brian Burns. We have Kayvon Thibodeau. We do not need him. Okay, let's talk about it. First, I got to give a major shout out to our sponsor and a returning sponsor that I am happy to have back, and that is Game Time, my favorite sponsor here on the channel, because I use Game Time every time I am buying tickets to a sporting event or a concert or a theater event, because you get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Prices actually drop as the events get closer, and my favorite part about Game Time is they guarantee you the lowest price. And with our promo code, Chat Sports, you get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. The options in the app are awesome. I get to see your seat view inside the app. It's easy to access your tickets when you're going into the stadium, and it's easy to resell your tickets as well. Giants season may be over, but the Knicks season is on and rolling. The playoffs are around the corner. If you want to catch one of the final regular season games to Madison Square Garden for the Knicks, best spot to get your tickets is Game Time. If you want to go see the Yankees and their torpedo bats at the best place in the world, get your tickets at Game Time to go see the Yankees in the Bronx for the best price guaranteed. Just use our promo code ChatSports, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase where terms do apply. As you see in the middle picture on your screen, click that Game Time Picks button and click that all-in pricing button. That way you get the best experience possible using the Game Time app. Game Time Picks makes it that much more easy to get the best deals to go see your favorite people or team perform, and all-in pricing. That way the price you see is the price you pay, and you don't get hit with hidden fees. So support the show, download the app, create an account, and use our promo code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Returns to apply. What time is it? It's game time. Adam Schefter not only giving an inside update on what he thinks the Cleveland Browns are going to do at number 2, but because he thinks that, he is now saying this. Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter had breakfast Sunday in State College, Pennsylvania, with the New York Giants head coach Brian Daboll. Abdul Carter also is now scheduled to visit the Giants on Thursday in New Jersey, and he figures to be a top 3 pick. We also know that Abdul Carter is not having any top 30 visits outside of anyone picking inside the top 4. But that last line of he figures to be a top 3 pick tells me he doesn't think the Giants are going to pass on him. And neither does Albert Breer, who is an NFL insider for Sports Illustrated, who is known to have a really good relationship with Joe Schoen. Albert Breer writing this: if I had to guess right now, I'd say the New York Giants, they'd love Travis Hunter, and they'd love Abdul Carter, and they'll look at quarterbacks on day 2. I think we're getting our answer to the question of, are the Giants in love with Shedeur Sanders? Adam Schefter doesn't think that Shedeur is a Giant at 3. Albert Breer doesn't think Shedeur Sanders is a Giant at 3. And the betting odds, Vegas doesn't play this game to lose money. They do not think Shedeur Sanders is a Giant at 3. And that doesn't mean they're right, but those are a lot of the things that I like to look at, as well as other reporters besides Albert Breer and Adam Schefter. And you know what? While I want a quarterback, I'm going to be very happy as well as we walk away with Abdul Carter with the number 3 pick, because he is an unreal prospect. What he did last year in college and his first year at playing that edge spot was some of the rarest production we have seen. Like, this is the first time this guy's ever done that. And he put together a 12-sack season with 66 pressures in 16 games. Think about that. The dude was unreal. And he got better and better and better as the season went on because he got more comfortable, got more experience, got more game reps. And this is a pick that, one, I think his ceiling is already extremely high, but his ceiling is limitless, and he's just scratching it because he's only played the position for less than 12 calendar months. And I already know people are going to say it, but Marshall, we don't need Abdul Carter. We got Brian Burns. We got Kayvon Thibodeau. We paid Brian Burns a lot of money. We picked Kayvon Thibodeau in the top 5 just a couple years ago. And you know what? I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're definitely not right. And growing up a diehard Giants fan, I remember a wise man once saying you can never have enough pass rushers. And I remember that saying turning into not 1 but 2 Super Bowls against the greatest quarterback of all time. And I'm not saying Abdul Carter and Kayvon Thibodeau and Brian Burns are what we saw from those great Giant teams. But if you add Abdul Carter to Burns and Thibodeau as well as Dexter Lawrence, you now have an identity. And you're getting back to controlling the line of scrimmage on the defensive side of the football. And every single Saturday night, a head coach, a quarterback, an offensive line coach, and an offensive coordinator are going to be staying up at night because they know if they don't block Carter and Burns and Thibodeau and Lawrence, the game is never going to go in their favor. And the thing I like about Abdul Carter, he can line up all over the football field. And he didn't do it as much as he did last year because the position changed, but because of his experience, 2 years playing inside linebacker, he can line up in the A-gap. He can line up off ball. He can be on the edge. You can move him around to blitz. This year, 90 snaps inside the box outside of being a D lineman. Yes, 642 snaps at D-line and 620 snaps outside the offensive tackle, but he can line up off ball. Go watch his tape. There are multiple examples of him lining up right on the line of scrimmage all over the line, and he's able to just go get the quarterback. His closing speed is unreal. He can play a quarterback spy. He can be used in so many different ways. And I wanted to talk about this tweet from my guy Justin Pennick. Shout out to Justin. Awesome dude. Go support him on Talking Giants. He's crushing it over there. Tweet from him. Earliest snap count data Pro Football Reference has is 2012. And in those years, or in that year, I'm guessing, JPP played in 83% of the snaps. And Justin Tuck played in 67. And OCU Manura played in 61. And Matthias Kiwanuka, listed as a linebacker, played 50%. Good stuff from him right here. If Carter is the pick, he is all in on having a rotation where players aren't forced to play at least 80% of the snaps. A unique problem to have. A unique problem also is something that it is, but it's also in the sense of you can never have too many guys to get after the quarterback. And a good defensive coordinator, I don't know if that's Shane Bowen, maybe we find out after this year, a good defensive coordinator that knows how to put his players in position to be successful will get the most out of Burns and Thibodeau and Carter and Dexter Lawrence, just like we saw the Giants get the most out of all of their awesome pass rushers that put the Giants in a spot to beat the Patriots 2 times. Abdul Carter's serious, guys. Like, I don't want people to think that this is Kayvon Thibodeau, and this is not a shot at Kayvon Thibodeau. I think anyone that called him a generational pass rusher was just wrong. I don't want to use a generational word too much, but Abdul Carter is as generational as it gets. The burst, the speed, the ability for him to move in the different ways that he can. Number 1 in the nation in pass rush grade. Number 6 in pass rush productive score. His pass rush win percentage last year in the Big Ten, 4th. He won in one-on-one pass blocking situations 22.6% of the time. And his true pass rush grade, meaning when you take away screens and when you take away play actions and it's just a drop-back pass, he had a pass rush grade of 93.0, number 2 in college football. His true pass rush production score, 4th in the country. His win percentage in true passing situations, 35.1. When you operate a drop-back offense last year against Penn State, Abdul Carter won his one-on-one matchup 35% of the time, and he had 66 pressures, and he had 44 true pressures and just drop-back passes. This guy is special, and he, next to Brian Burns, is special. He just looks different out there. Just go put on the tape. You're on YouTube right now. After you watch this video, type in Abdul Carter highlights. There's no one on this team that moves like that. There's a reason that people compare him to Micah Parsons, because there's not many people that move like Abdul Carter, and there's not many people that move like Micah Parsons. Not only is he like an athletic freak, he plays with a ferocity that would change the overall feel of this defense. He plays with emotion. He plays with swag, and he plays a hard-nosed brand of football. Like, go watch his highlights, and then go watch Kayvon Thibodeau's highlights. And I know we like to say, oh, Kayvon's got a good first step. Kayvon was a good athlete. Kayvon is someone that is an awesome speed rusher. They look different. And you could just watch them. Pull one up on your phone. Pull one up on the screen right here. Brian Burns is more closer, or Abdul Carter is closer to Brian Burns in his athleticism. He's just not 6'5" and not the guy that he is in the NFL yet, but I think he could be even better than Brian Burns down the line. Abdul Carter is a special player, and I would love to have him on the Giants. If the Giants pick him over Shedeur Sanders, I totally get it. If the Giants pick Shedeur over him, I totally get it. But there's only a couple of blue chip players, and if you get one at number 3, you're going to be pretty happy about it after day 1. We're only 16 days away, ladies and gentlemen. I'm tired of talking about the rumors. I know you're tired of watching and hearing about the rumors, but it is my job, and I want to make sure you guys hear every single person that has any sort of juice around the league and what they have to say and what they have to hear. You ready for the draft? Hit that thumbs up icon. 16 days away. Make sure you join us because we're going to be live for every single pick of the draft. You can also stay up to date with it on my social media accounts, Twitter and IG, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go G-Men.